Okay, we're going to look at problem number 10 here. So if we look at problem number 10, the whole problem is written in words, and we have to convert it into chemical symbols. Then we've got to go through the same process of predicting products, balancing the reaction, and then doing our stoichiometry. So if we look at the problem, it tells us that we are forming silver chloride. So silver chloride is going to be one of our products. So if we look at this reaction, here's silver chloride. And it's going to be formed when 85 milliliters of a 0.5 molar silver nitrate, so that's over here, it's a reactant, silver nitrate solution is added to a calcium chloride solution. So here's calcium chloride. Okay, we'll come back to the numbers in just a second once we get our reaction set up. So if I'm looking at this reaction, sorry, it's a little bit blurry. Okay, if I'm looking at this reaction, I'm not sure if that got any better. Let's try this. There we go. That's much better. Okay, so if I'm looking at this reaction, this is a double replacement reaction, so I know there should be one more product here. So in addition to silver chloride, I'm going to need to use my calcium and my nitrate. So I'm going to have another product that is calcium nitrate. Okay, now just like any other reaction, once I've predicted my products, I've got to balance my oxidation numbers. I do need to keep in mind that I've got to take care of that on both sides because I just wrote out these reactants. I didn't make sure that they were correct. So here I've got silver as a +1, nitrate is a -1, calcium is a +2, chlorine is a -1. So in order to make those balanced, I'm going to need 2 chlorines here on this side. Then over here on this side, silver is a +1, chlorine is a -1, calcium is a +2, and nitrate is a -1. So once again, I'm going to need to double my nitrates to get to a -2. Okay. Now I need to balance my reaction. I have 2 chlorines over here, 1 chlorine on this side. I have 2 nitrates over here, 1 nitrate on this side. Now with the 2's in front, both silvers are 2 and both calciums are 1, so I'm balanced. Now I'm going to go back to my problem and I'm going to figure out what it's asking me to calculate. So if I look at the problem, it wants to know how much silver chloride am I going to produce? What mass? How many grams? And it tells me I'm going to use 85 milliliters of a 0.5 molar silver nitrate solution. And I'm going to mix it with what it says is excess calcium chloride. So that excess simply means that this isn't going to affect it. I'm not going to run out of it. I have as much of it as I need. And it also doesn't matter how much of this I produce. So these are the things that I'm worried about here. Okay, just like our last solution stoichiometry problem, I'm going to start with the number that I'm given that's not a molarity. So in this case, that's going to be 85 milliliters. So if I start with 85 milliliters, set up my stoichiometry problem here. I know I want to use a molarity. Molarities are in liters, so I'm going to have to convert milliliters to liters. So I've got 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. I can cancel out my milliliters. Now I'm ready to use my molarity, 0.5 moles per 1 liter. From there, I'm ready to use my mole ratio. So in this example, for every 2 moles of silver nitrate, I'm going to produce 2 moles of silver chloride. So it's a 2 to 2 mole ratio. So this should be 0.5 moles of silver nitrate. So I'm going to do 2 moles of silver nitrate. Produces 2 moles of silver chloride. And then my last step, because it's asking me for grams here, I'm going to need to use my molar mass to convert moles to grams. So I know that 1 mole of silver chloride is the same as 143.32 grams of silver chloride. So let me finish my units here, make sure they cancel out. So moles of silver nitrate cancels with moles of silver nitrate. Moles of silver chloride cancels with moles of silver chloride. And I'm left with grams of silver chloride, which is what the question is asking me for. So I'm all set up. I'm going to multiply across the top, divide by anything that's on the bottom. So I'll end up with an answer of 6.09 grams of silver chloride. Okay, so there's one more solution stoichiometry problem on the study guide. Coming up, problem number 11.